So I wanted to talk to you who are parents and you're dealing with issues of guilt right now. You have guilt that you weren't a perfect parent. You have guilt that things transpired in their youth that hurt them. You know, some of your children have even endured something traumatic. Maybe you trusted somebody and they hurt your child. You know, maybe you mistreated them. Maybe you were a workaholic, or you had a drug or alcohol issue yourself, and you carry guilt, okay? You know, first of all, I would say go to Jesus. Lord, I have guilt. I feel so guilty. Let Him heal that part of your heart. You don't have to carry the weight of this, okay? God came, the Lord came to die for sinners, people who weren't perfect. You cannot go back and right those wrongs. You can't go back and make it right somehow. But you can start today by taking on God's view of things, okay? He says, when you ask for forgiveness, your sins are forgiven. As far as east is from the west, He remembers your sins no more. Okay? So God forgave you. Now, start praying for your children to forgive you. Yes, sometimes we have to go to them and say, you know what? I made a mistake, and I'm asking you to forgive me. I'm sorry I did those things. I'm sorry you got hurt. I am sorry. But you can't pay the price. You can't. What are you going to do? You can't go back to the that time in their lives. You can't go backwards. There's no way you can go backwards. You can only go forward. You can only do right now. And with God, you can do this life. And you can pray and ask God to heal your kids' hearts. You can ask God to help them with forgiveness to you, with forgiveness for the mistakes that you made towards them when they were young. But if, let's say for instance, you had an addiction when they were young, okay? And you've asked for forgiveness for that bad example. God forgave you. And you told your kids, I am sorry. God forgave you. Now, they may need some time for God to work on their hearts, and you kind of have to accept that God is working on them, right? You can't force them. You can't make them do something they don't want to do, but you can certainly pray that God will soften the blow of the whole situation, that God would minister to your children's hearts, that He would help right the things that have been wrong in your family, that He would restore your relationship with your kids, that He would go after them who are addicted right now. Because you set an example for them that was wrong when they were young, let's say. But you've got your life right now with God, and God has forgiven you. You start praying those prayers and let Him run after your kids. You get a phenomenal prayer life, and you don't carry the weight of your sin anymore, because you really can't carry it, friend, and it's really not going to make things right. You give it to God and you say, God, I made mistakes. Here it is. I know you could do this better than me, and I accept that you forgive me and you wash my sins in your blood. And I ask you to bless my kids, and I ask you to go after them with your love. And the Lord knows how to go after them. The Lord knows how to do this. Get those friends. Ask God for them who will stand with you in prayer while you wait. But Mama and Daddy, you've got to forgive yourself. And give a sincere apology if you're able.